Hello, folks. Today at the Poets Corner, we have Fereshteh. And you see, I'm so excited. One reason, I have her book in my hand. And second, signed by her.
Yes.
So, uh, this book which I'm holding is Ghazals of Hafez. Original Translations, Volume 1, Fereshteh Azad. And Fereshteh was inspired to translate Hafiz's words directly from the original Farsi to English. The result is a beautiful volume of Hafiz's first 300 ghazals called Ghazals of Hafiz. Original Translations, Volume 1. The cover is a lovely painting of Hafiz's tomb shrine in Shiraz, Iran. So, Farista will now talk about her process from start to finish. Then she will read for us some of her favorites. Over to you, Farista.
Sweet. Thank you, Meher. That was lovely. Yes, well, my process, my goodness. It all started, it's all Baba's fault and Hafiz's fault to put me to this. I introduce it in the book as a preface, my story, which is I went to, actually, there's more to my story. I actually came to Baba somewhat through for Hafez himself. I was kind of craving the poetry of my homeland and what I grew up with in high school. And of course, in later years, we have a much deeper understanding of spirituality than I did, let's say, in high school. So I started when I was in Phoenix and I was studying Kriya Yoga through Paramahansa Yogananda's organization. I started feeling like I wanted to reconnect with my own roots back in Iran, and especially was yearning for some poetry that I knew that it was, mystical and beautiful and powerful, and I wanted to reconnect with that. And lo and behold, my Baba contact in Arizona told me about Baba and also mentioned that Hafez was one of his favorite poets. And she sent me a poem. And this poem happened to be one that really resonated with my heart and where I was at that time in my own spiritual quest. So that caught my attention. And then there was just a series of other synchronicities, if you will, to connect me with Hafiz more deeply. Um, Namely, I went to Iran in 2009. And then subsequently, I also went to India. And in Iran, before I left, my husband Jim said, "Oh, be sure and read the ghazal that's inscribed on Hafiz's tomb. And, you know, tell me what it says. Bring me a translation of it. I'm curious what that poem is." So I got there and I'm standing in front of this beautiful monument, which I'm sure many of you have seen. The monument where his tomb is absolutely glorious. Beautiful tile work on the ceiling, and just the whole atmosphere is very holy. And people come there on pilgrimage, really. They recognize that it is a holy place. And they put their hand or thumb on the tomb and they make prayers and they recite their favorite ghazal back to Hafiz himself. And they ask for favors or whatever is in people's hearts. So I'm standing there and I'm looking at the ghazal and I'm took a picture and I'm studying it. I'm like, oh my God, it's one of the two that I had already translated. Just for fun, just because, before going. And then later, I went to Arnavaz's cremation. I happened to be there when she passed. This is going to be interesting. Every time I get on Zoom, my cough says, ah. Anyway, at during her cremation service or before, in Mandali Hall, when everybody was gathered, somebody stands up and reads a Ghazal of Hafez. And lo and behold, it's the second one that I had already translated. I had only translated two. So in that early time of 2009, 2 out of 600 ghazals were right in my face. And I just felt like Baba's tugging me to pay attention. So I did pay attention. And I came back and I told my friend in Shiraz who gave me the tip about the best book to use to translate, which is the version I'm translating from. He said, that's the best one because it's the least tampered with. Has the most number of ghazals. Some have been attributed to Hafiz, some have been eliminated from the ghazals, some have been changed. Anyway, like anything else, these poems have not remained intact. So I did some research, I got the book, and I read the intro, and this gentleman had actually Qudsi had obtained a number of old copies and had compared them and had really collected all these poems from those old copies. And Qudsi became a very well-known version in Iran and in India for a long time until the more modern versions came out later in Iran. So, and, I was doing some work with Ward Parks too, translating for him the passages that Baba so often quoted. And we found that the Qudsi version was invariably right on. It was the one that Baba would have recited. So that gave another stamp of approval for me to use that version. Anywho, so that's how it rolled, and I started translating them one after the other. And I got busy in 2010. I got busy with setting up the center in Chicago for Meher Baba. And for 10 years, I was pretty busy with that. So I didn't do a whole lot of work then, fair amount, but not a whole lot. And then when we moved to Myrtle Beach 5, 6 years ago, is when I really started getting serious. And the receptivity of the Meher Baba community here was just tremendous. They loved hearing it. And we got on Babazoom during COVID, and I shared a lot during RT. And what can I say? People encouraged me. You people encouraged me to keep going. So I finished the first 300, and now I'm working on volume 2. So that's my story, and I'd love to hear any questions you may have. Any insights I can provide, I'll be happy to at this point. Before moving into the ghazals themselves. Anyone?
Well, can you just tell us like a history of Hafiz and what period he belongs?
Yeah, he was a 14th century poet. So that means we're in the 21st century. So uh, that would be what, 700 years ago? Something like that.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, he was from Shiraz, and he had a tumultuous life. Um, problems with the government, political things that were going on, and just there's a lot about him on the internet. Very little actually is known about him, and I pretty much only trust what Baba said about him. And believe it or not, there's like 170 mentions of Hafez in Lord Meher, in the 20-volume Lord Meher. So when I did a project for Debbie Nordine, rest her heart in peace, she asked me to do a presentation at the MPC in Mehrabad. And during that time, I went and researched Lord Meher, quotes about Hafez from Meher Baba. And I gathered a number of them. And then recently also, Eric Tepperman asked me the same question. So I said, oh, Lord Meher is always being updated. So I went back and started collecting more quotes and things that Baba said about him. So his life was very tumultuous. He was a seeker. He had he was a Sufi. And he spent a lot of time with the Sufis and doing their practices and so forth. And then he, one fine day, he saw this beautiful young woman from a window as he's passing by, and he fell head over heels in love with her. This is an old man falling in love with a very young woman. And so for the next 40 years or so, he suffered in love for that beautiful, young, unattainable young lady. And the story Baba tells is that, his master Attar challenged him to, there's a couple of different versions of this. One is that he wanted to do Chelle Neshini, which is sitting in a circle for 40 days without food, without water, nothing, just sitting there. And whatever his heart's desire is will be granted. So at the end of his vigil there, Angel Gabriel came to him and said, "What is it you want?" And Hafiz saw the beauty of the angel and forgot all about the girl and said, "I want God." So, and that's when he went back to his master, and eventually his master gave him the realization. So those are the stories I know that I can, say with certitude. But there's a lot that has been said about his life. And, he didn't just write poetry about God. He also wrote poems about his friends, the people who appreciated his poetry. One person, King Shoja, who was the king at that time, was one of his friends and a appreciator of his ghazals. So he's mentioned him in his divan a few times. Anyway, but my feeling is the majority of his poems are about his spiritual life and journey, and honestly, each line I find is a discourse in and of itself. And Baba said some of his poems were written before his realization and some after. So we're
Wow.
talking about a perfect master here. So obviously, Baba had a lot of respect for him. Anything else?
No, that was so nice summary you gave, uh, and I wanted to know what Baba said, and then you said perfect master. So that's really perfect for a introduction now. So
Mm-hmm.
we will go forward, and I would like to hear from you some of your favorites.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
they're all my favorites, so that would be really hard for me to choose. So I decided to choose the ones that ended in 7. So just randomly, I chose a few, and depending on how long is the program, Meher?
There is 40 more minutes.
40 more minutes. So
Yeah.
we'll see how many I get through.
Yeah.
All right, Jay Meher Baba.
Hey, Baba.
This is Ghazal 7. I'll just read a couple of lines of the Farsi to give you a sense of the rhythm and the meter and the beauty of the Persian language. دوش از مسجد سوی میخانه آمد پیر ما چیست یاران طریقت بعد از این تدبیر ما مریدان رو به سوی کعبه چون آریم چون رو به سوی خانه خمار دارد پیر ما در خرابات مغان ما نیز همدستان شویم کین چنین رفته است از روز ازل تقدیر ما عقل اگر داند که دل در بند زلفش چون خوش است عاقلان دیوانه گردند از پی زنجیر ما روی خوبت آیتی از لطف بر ما کشف کرد زین سبب جز لطف و خوبی نیست در تفسیر ما با دل سنگینت آیا هیچ درگیرد شبی آه آتشبار و سوز ناله شبگیر ما مرغ دل را صید جمعیت به دام افتاده بود زلف بگشادی و باز از دست شد تخجیر ما باد بر زلف تو آمد شد جهان بر من سیاه نیست از سودای زلفت بیش از این توفیر ما تیر آه ما ز گردون بگذرد جانا خموش رحم کن بر جان خود پرهیز کن از تیر ما بر در میخانه خواهم گشت چون حافظ مقیم چون خراباتی شدان یار طریقت پیر ما. So here's the translation. Last night our peer Murshid, master, left the mosque and approached the tavern. O friends of Tariqat, or the spiritual journey, the inner journey. O friends of Tariqat, what are we to do after that? How can we, his followers, face the Kaaba for worship? How? When our peer is heading toward the house of intoxication. Let us become accomplices in the ruins of Moran. And the ruins of Moran is the tavern, is where the drunkards like you and I are getting drunk on the wine of love, hopefully. Let us become accomplices in the ruins of Moran. This has been our destiny since the beginning of time. If intellect finds out how happy the heart is when ensnared by his hair, the intellectuals will go mad in pursuit of our chains. Your beautiful face was a holy revelation on compassion for us. Because of this, there has been nothing but kindness and compassion in our rendering of scripture. Will our fiery sighs and the burning heat of our nightly moans have an effect on your stone cold heart? Jai Baba. Oh, there's more. There's more. There's more. Hi, Betty. We missed ya.
So I'm glad you could do whatever you did. Thank you.
Yeah, Meher came to the rescue, so it's all good.
Oh, wonderful.
I robbed your job, Betty. I am the host.
All right. You're hired. You're hired.
The bird of love was captured by the hunting of the masses. You unleashed your locks, and our prey flew away once again. The wind blew through your hair, and the world went dark for me. This line is really potent. The wind blew through your hair. And the hair in Hafiz's Ghazals, sometimes it denotes the inner journey that Baba talked about, the inward journey, the involution, and or Maya itself, the illusion of the outer world. They're both illusory. So Hafiz is really very clever. And you can look at it in both ways. The wind blew through your hair. So either he's experiencing the inner journey or he is enmeshed like the rest of us in the gross world. The wind blew through your hair and the world went dark for me. I have a feeling this is his inner journey because the world went dark for him. He no longer had the experience of the gross world. He was only aware of the inner life. And now there is nothing left for us but the desire for your hair. The arrow of our sigh will traverse the skies. Be silent, O soul. Have mercy on yourself and avoid our arrow. It's not for the faint-hearted. I will become a dweller at the door of the tavern like Hafez, since our peer of Tariqat became a friend of ruination.
Which ghazal is the first number?
7.
Oh yeah, 7 we start with.
In Qudsi. Many other versions have different numbering systems. So this is only the numbering system of my Qudsi version. All right. I turned to 37, but then I think I've read this for you guys before, so I just went to the next page, which is page Ghazal 38. Hurrah, O messenger of eager lovers, give me the message of the friend, so I may sacrifice my love my life, willingly, for the sake of the name of the friend. Like a caged nightingale, the parrot of my longing nature is constantly mad with desire for the sugar and almond from the friend. These are his spiritual sustenance, the sugar and the almond. His hair is the trap and his beauty mark, the grain inside the trap. And in the hope of the grain, I have fallen in the trap of the friend. The beauty mark being the third eye. And of course, Hafiz didn't have the language or the audience to tell these spiritual gems that Baba has revealed for us. And the grain inside the trap is, of course, the God realization that he's after. His hair is the trap and his beauty mark, the grain inside the trap. And in the hope of the grain, I have fallen in the trap of the friend. He will not give up intoxication till the day of resurrection. Whoever, like me, in the beginning of time, drank a sip of wine from the goblet of the friend. I have written a letter explaining my condition. However, it is harassment to persist more than this with the friend. My desire is to move forward toward union, but he leans toward separation. I gave up my own desire in order to fulfill the desire of the friend. If he extends a hand to me, I will wipe it across my eyes as a healing balm, the exalted dust of the path that was walked on by the friend. Hafez, burn in the agony of separation and endure the lack of cure. There is no remedy for the restless pain of separation from the friend. Hello, Alan Ray Powell. Hey, Baba.
Jai Baba.
Hey, Baba. Welcome. This is Ghazal 67. It was in cooperation with your sweetness that your beauty enchanted the world. It was in cooperation with your sweetness that your beauty enchanted the world. Yes, it is possible indeed to capture the world through collaboration. How clever is he? The candle wanted to reveal the secrets of intimate friends. Thank God, the secret of its heart was burned on its tongue. The candle's burning, so he couldn't speak. The rose, too, was about to wax eloquent about your color and fragrance, but the jealous morning breeze stuffed its breath back into its mouth. Like the tulip who put on its cheerful hat, tilted to one side with pride, so does every scorched heart that receives the red ruby wine. The day the love of the sake set aflame my harvest was the day my beloved's face ignited a spark in it. Carefree, I moved along the perimeter like the moving arm of the compass. Eventually, the world surrounded me as a point within the circle. I have a little footnote here that says two possible interpretations. One is I was surrounded and trapped by the world, and two is I became the center of the universe, a kutub, a perfect master, the latter being more likely. I want to head toward the abode of my beloved, dancing and shedding all my worldly possessions to escape the calamities gripping the world on these last days. It is written in blood on the petals of the poppy flower, the person who matures in spirit receives the purest crimson wine. Drink wine for those who can see the conclusion of the affairs of the world. Promptly let go of sadness and take up a hefty glass of wine. Pour wine into the all-seeing cup of Jamshid, for the morning wine, like the golden sword of the king, will seize the world. Seize the opportunity when calamities take over the world, like the mystic, pick up the jug of wine and drop the sadness and worry. Isn't that apt for today also? So timeless.
I'm wondering, you've been immersed in this beauty for so long, years. Yeah. What do you have any thoughts about um, about your how it's changed you? Do you sense that?
I'll be happy to answer that. Let me finish this
Oh,
ghazal.
I'm so sorry. Okay.
Oh, that's okay. From the hidden fire that's sleeping within my bosom, the sun is but a flame reflected in the sky. Hafez, since your verse is dripping with such kindness, how can the jealous find any point of imperfection? So yeah, how has it changed me? It's inevitable. I don't know. I mean, I'm not even aware to what level, but I know that the beauty, the power, the cleverness of Hafiz, how he conveys the most profound concepts in such a beautiful language. And my hope is that through Baba's help and Hafiz's help, that I was able to bring that, the essence of what Hafiz is trying to convey. And in that process, whatever they've done, I don't know. I don't know. It's only Baba knows that. So, but it's certainly been life-changing in terms of my dedication to it and my resolve to continue the work. So, what can I say, Betty?
Sure, seem radiant.
Thank you.
Fereshteh, when you were reading the first poem, and it was about compassion, I literally felt the whole essence of compassion as you read it. So I feel like you've enveloped the dialogue in your essence. I could feel, I got the chills as I'm saying it to you. It was, I mean, everything you're reading, I feel like you've embodied it and have articulated in a way, and it's so beautiful. Thank you. It's really, I mean, heart touching.
Thank you so much. I certainly hope that someday the compassion that's in these poems and the author of these poems will change the world. My hope is that Meher Baba and Hafez together are a powerful dynamo, and there's no doubt that people who are reading it are gonna feel it. Hopefully that's my only hope, that to bring this to the Western world. A lot of translations of Hafez haven't been to his mastery, to the language, to bring that language into the modern world in a way that goes into the heart. So that's my hope. Cheba.
Fereshteh, as you say that, so I've been reading Hafez since Baba found me, which was some decades ago. And what I think your translations, they're just basic, they're common sense, they're simple, and they're everyday. And so far I relate to them. The other translations are inspiring, and I still enjoy them and appreciate them, but they're a little more intellectual. Whereas you kind of bring it right down to where and I think many of us live and do things. So just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Jill. All right, do we have time for a few more?
Yeah, we have more.
This is Ghazal 97. Betty, I told Meher and everybody that I didn't pick my favorites. I picked the ones that ended in 7 because it's really hard to pick favorites. I saw him last night striding away in a drunken state, a cup of wine in hand, heading toward the assembly of the Rend. And I think I have explained to this audience maybe who the Rend is. The Rend is a Persian Sufi term, which means someone who's inwardly God-loving, yet outwardly appearing to defy social, religious, or moral conventions or expectations. So societal, yeah, Maggie's smiling. I know she gets that. So there you go. I saw him last night striding away in a drunken state, a cup of wine in hand, heading toward the assembly of the Rend. And this cup of wine in hand, of course, can be interpreted in the worldly sense, but truly, the cup is the heart and the wine is divine love in the heart. So Hafiz was very masterful, even though, drinking alcohol or wine was forbidden, still is forbidden in Islam. But he somehow just managed to render these ghazals in a way that the mystic can understand. As soon as I said, "Oh, ancient companion of mine," he could hardly speak. He looked crestfallen and walked away distraught. He let go of his schemes for Kharazm Lake and Jehun Riverbank, and with 1,000 complaints left the kingdom of the world. So I must say that this ghazal, like I told at the beginning, Hafiz didn't just write ghazals to the beloved, to the divine beloved. Sometimes he wrote them for his friends. The king here, King Shoja, who was a dear friend of him, an appreciator of his poetry. I believe this ghazal was for him, and he's written this after the death of his good friend. So I saw him last night striding away in a drunken state. We could imagine whatever we want, whether it's Hafiz's friend or his perfect master, his Murshid or Baba himself. We can imagine it. It leaves room for personal interpretations. Is it possible for anyone else to recognize the language of the soul like him? I saw that quality in him, and my soul started leaving my body. Nothing like being heard and understood. I said, "Who is going to engage in soulful conversations with us now? That honey-tongued, sweet-talking appreciator of soulful verse is gone now." I appealed much, "Please do not leave," but to no avail. His work was done, and he left to tend to God's business. O King, be generous and forgive his crime. What can he do? He was burned and left the world from sheer disillusionment. Since that beloved has disappeared from the sight of Hafez, his tears are flowing constantly from his cheeks onto his daman. So that's one that has more worldly, his connection with this beautiful appreciator of his poems.
Do you think it could be his friend? It could be Hafiz, the friend.
Yeah, his name was Shah Shuja. He was the ruler at the time and befriended Hafez and appreciated his poetry very much. So they were friends, solid. If I leave him, this is 127. If I leave him, he will start riots. If I stay with expectation, he will leave begrudgingly. And if in some passage I fall at his feet out of loyalty like dust, he will rise and flee like the wind. When I ask him, why do you associate with certain people? He behaves in such a way to mix my tears with blood. And if I ask for half a kiss, 100 regrets pour out from the small treasure box of his mouth like sugar. The seduction that I see in your eyes is enough to ruin many a reputation on the path. The ups and downs of the wilderness of love are traps for calamities. Where is a brave-hearted one to not avoid suffering? Pray for a long life and patience, since this trickster life will play 1,000 more games more astonishing than this. Lay your head at the threshold of surrender, O Hafez. If you resist and fight, life will fight with you.
Wow. Mm.
I shall intend for the alley of the beloved like the wind. I shall refresh my breath with the musk perfume of his being. Whatever merit I have amassed from worldly knowledge and religion, I shall offer at the dust of the path to that beloved. Without wine and beloved, life is spent in vain. Enough of idling away. From today, I shall strive to achieve them, the wine and the beloved. Where is the breeze, so that like the rose, I can sacrifice this addicted soul of mine to the perfumed tresses of the beloved? Since the candle of my morning has been lit by his love, I shall live the rest of my life striving for union. Since the candle of my morning has been lit by his love, I shall live the rest of my life striving for union. I shall become ruined with the remembrance of your eyes. I shall reinforce the foundation of our ancient pact. Hypocrisy and deceit do not give peace and joy to Hafez's heart. I shall choose the path of rendi and love.
Wow. I was going to ask you, Fereshteh, to talk about your process, but it's so lovely. Hafiz.
Eddie, we did cover that at the beginning. Meher read your questions to me and I responded. So catch it up in the video. It's there
I will.
as best as I could. Okay, this is 187. Oh, friends, the daughter of the grape gave up her modesty. You know who she is? The daughter of the grape? It's wine.
Ah, ah, ah.
Oh, friend, the daughter of the grape gave up her modesty. She went to the Sharia guard and obtained a permit. She stepped out of the curtain and entered the gathering. Wipe her perspiration so the non-believers won't accuse her of being distant. Rejoice, O heart, the minstrel of love is singing the song of drunkenness and curing the thirst. It is time to offer her a marriage proposal. This girl who has been so absent from the jug. Those who hide a jug of grape wine under their Sufi robe cannot wipe away their sins with 100 fires, let alone 7 ablutions. The flower of my inspiration has blossomed from the scent of his breeze, like the nightingale's song that made the rose blush. Hafez, Do not let go of your humility, because the jealous lost honor, wealth, heart, and religion to pride. And let me skip to the last one because I have 2 more to go, 3 more to go. So if there's time, I'll do more, but this last one. It's 297. Reveal yourself to me and make me forget my own self. Tell the wind to carry away the ashes of my burnt haystack. What is the burnt haystack? The false self, the sanskaras.
Oh.
We who have given our heart and sight to the tempest of calamity, tell the flood of sorrow to come and uproot the whole house from its foundation. So he's inviting more to the point of his entire foundation is gone, his false self, no more.
Mm.
Who can imbibe the pure amber scent of his hair? Impossible. O unripe, desirous heart, forget this whole line of thinking. Tell the heart, kill the flame of the Parsi fire temple with your fire. Tell
Wow.
the eyes, embarrass the waters of the Tigris River in Baghdad with your tears. Without effort, you cannot reach anywhere on this path. If you are seeking the prize, then obey the master. Last night he said, I will kill you with my long eyelashes. O Lord, please remove the thoughts of cruelty from his mind. The cruelty being not killing him with the eyelashes, bringing him to the brink and walking away. On
Wow.
my dying day, give me the promise of our meeting. Then you can carry me to my grave, free and at peace. Victory, victory to the reign of the Pir Moran, the perfect master, or the avatar. Victory to the reign of the Pir Moran. The rest is worthless. And to the others say, leave and forget my name, Hafiz's name. From now on, it is my pale face and the dust of the beloved's door. Bring forth the wine and take away this grief-embodied life. Hafiz, be mindful of the beloved's tender heart. Go away and take this moan and lament with you. No complaining. Jai Meher Baba.
Gosh, such beauty. Wow.
Thank you.
Mm.
Who's Meher Name? Somebody's clapping under Meher Name. I think that might be my buddy, Mehernush.
Oh,
Yes, and I see Marilyn here and Eva, Jai Baba. Thank you, everyone. This was so delightful to share with you.
Thank you, Fereshteh. I'm sorry I was late, so I'll have to listen to the tape.
Yes, I did read one Farsi, but you weren't there, so you can catch
Uh,
it.
we'll catch it.
I
Yeah.
was reading number 200 in the Arti, and I liked it so much. I read it again and again.
Sweet. Yeah, they're all impossibly great.
You feel like reading one more?
Of course. Which one would you like?
200?
200. Oh my God.
Mm.
Why?
Never believe which one I turned to.
What?
Oh.
200?
200.
Oh my God.
What? The moon does not have the brilliance of your face. Next to you, the rose does not have the appeal of even a plant. Keep your lover's heart close to you because a king cannot capture any land without his army. I have seen how that cruel eye of yours does not glance toward any of your lovers. O King of the devout, but Hafiz knew that we would have this beloved that will have, his name would be compassion, you know, Father of compassion. So he does glance at us, doesn't he? He sure does. O King of the devout, pay some attention to your lovers. No other king has an army like yours. I am not the only one enduring the tyranny of your tresses. Who is left that does not bear the wound of those black tresses in their heart? Look at the arrogance of the narcissist to bloom in your presence. An impudent eye does not have the civility of seeing. Give me a heavy cup of wine, O disciple of ruination, so I can drink in honor of a sheikh who is not bound by the ritual of a Sufi house. And the sheikh is Hafiz himself. Tell them to go and wash their sleeve with the blood of their heart. Not everyone can find their way to this threshold. Let us see what the smoke of my burning heart will do with your face. You know that a mirror cannot bear the effect of a sigh. Like that. Drink blood and sit in silence, for that compassionate one cannot bear the cries of a justice seeker. See, he's all over the place. On the one hand, he says he's not compassionate. On the other hand, he says he's the most compassionate. Isn't that true? All right, where was I? Drink blood and sit in silence, for that compassionate one cannot bear the cries of a justice seeker. The view of my eye is the corner of your brow. Lovelier than this scenery, no king possesses. And the brow in Sufi poetry is what we call mihrab, which is the altar of worship, the altar of devotion to the beloved. The view of my eye is the corner of your brow, lovelier than this scenery, no king possesses. If Hafez bows down to you, do not blame him. O my idol, to become an infidel on the path of love is not a sin.
Wow. How long have you been out? You've probably said it, but I would you, how long? When did you start this writing?
I started it in 2009-ish, after my trip to Iran and Shiraz. I had already done 2 poems, and when I got to Iran and Shiraz, both of those poems appeared as if a hidden hand was doing this infinite intelligence that knew what they were doing, concocted this whole scenario that I had just randomly picked 2 Ghazals of Hafez and translated those before my trip to India and Iran. And it happened to be, one happened to be on Hafez's tomb, and the other happened to be recited at Arnavaz's
Oh,
memorial service. So,
oh.
yeah, you think, you know, whose hand was all over that one? So that's how it started. Then I came back, and like I explained earlier, Baba kept me plenty busy in Chicago with the Chicago Center for 10 years. So on and off, I would do a few ghazals. And when I got into it, literally, when I first started, I was so moved by it that I would shut my door and work for days on end without, you know, interacting or having any social life. It was so incredible. And I was able to, you know, tap into Hafez in my new language, which is English. You know, I'm a lot more comfortable in English now because I've been here since I was 17 years old. So to go and mine Hafez through dictionary, the words that were unknown or old words that are no longer used, dictionary became my best friend. And I just kept going, and each ghazal just made me so happy that I couldn't stop. So I just kept going. And then when I moved here, you, Betty, and others who invited me to Zoom and everything else encouraged me to keep going. And I kept going.
I remember there was a day, it was in COVID, and you and Jeff Wilverton were alone at the center. Nobody was at the center. And you read, all I can remember was about the evil eye, which was COVID, the way I saw it. And it
Wow.
struck me so deeply, but I can't tell you the number or any, but I'll find it.
Let me do a search for you right now. I can open it and see if I can find the evil eye, because it shouldn't be too hard to do that.
So powerful a moment, because there you were alone at the center, and I'll never
Jeff,
forget.
too, has been one of the great supporters and encouragers. Evil Eye, Ghazal 251. View single page so I can read it. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, companions of the cup, untie the knots from the beloved's tresses. The night is lovely, make it last long with this tale. It is an intimate gathering and friends have assembled. Shut the door and pray for protection from the evil eye. The rubab and harp are crying out loud. Listen carefully to the message of the keepers of secrets. The rubab is a old Persian instrument. Whoever is not enlivened with love in the circle, for him recite the prayer for the dead with my decree. Whoever is not enlivened with love in the circle, for him recite the prayer of the dead with my decree. There is a great difference between a lover and a beloved. When the beloved behaves coquettishly, you must pursue to win his love. I swear to the friend's spirit, that grief will not tear apart your heart and soul if you put your full trust in the mercy of the divine problem solver. The first discourse of the peer of the tavern is this: avoid the company of wicked people. And if Hafiz asks for any alms, send him to the lips of the affectionate beloved.
Hey, would you reread the part about the grief? That was really profound and powerful to me.
All right. I swear to the friend's spirit that grief will not tear apart your heart and soul if you put your full trust in the mercy of the divine problem solver.
Gee, Baba.
Jai Baba. Yeah, we've all tasted his mercy one way or another in our lives, in our journey.
What number is that, Fereshteh?
251, darling.
Wonderful. Jai Baba.
Well, friends,
Oh,
it's that hour.
it's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, thank you for this opportunity, Betty. Appreciate it so much.
Forgive me for being such a dodo.
And reading it out loud really brings it to life.
Oh, it really
So
does. Really does.
reciting, yeah, it's out loud is the way to go, but reading it quietly is okay too.
Maybe we could have this like as a monthly little thing. Just planting a little seed with you, Mama. I know you got a lot on your plate, but we're hungry for you.
Well, thank you. We'll see how that plays out for sure.
Yeah, the good suggestion. Oh,
Yeah.
Thank
All right.
you so much. It was such a delight hearing your work. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Eva. Is this Eva from Asheville?
It's this Eva.
Oh, hi, Eva. Okay. Oh, that one is Evie. I'm sorry. Yes. Okay. Thank you for showing your face. And I love your Baba behind you.
you've
I
been
think,
so
I think he's joyous and delighting in Hafez right there. And my goal has been nothing but to please Baba in this endeavor, because, that's what.
Merci, Fereshteh. Merci.
Khahish mikonam. You're welcome. You're welcome. My pleasure. All right, Mehernama, are you Mehernoush? Show your face for a minute, so I know. She used to have a program on Zoom called Mehername. That's why I'm suspecting. Jai Baba, everyone.
Jai
Until again.
God bless.
Avatar Meher Baba ki
Jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai.
Fereshteh.
Fereshteh.
Is she still here?
Hafiz.
Thank you,
Khuda
Baba.
Khoda Hafiz. May God protect you.
Koda Hafiz.
Khoda Hafiz.
Oh,
Hey, please check your personal messages before you depart the call.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
love you, honey.
Thank
This was
you. Yeah.
amazing. Thank you for this. This
Thank
was
you so much.
so beautiful.
those messages will be saved right along with the so we can get them to you. Yeah. Oh,
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
thank you. What, you're so generous.
Oh, come on. It's my duty to share.
None of us want to hang up if you've noticed.
Much love. Much, much love.
Love
And thank you, Meher, for filling for Betty. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you are hired.
You did a fine job.
Yeah.
All right. Jai Baba, everyone.
Hey, Baba. Love you all.
Thank
Thank you.
Get away. There you, let's see, where'd he go? Meher, you can end it since
I'm
you're home.
okay. Yes. Yeah.